As much as I love cooking and as much as I love my family, I am done cooking for them daily. It is time to move from this to this. It's not your fault and you don't deserve. I'm in the process of making delicious freezer meals for this month, because making freezer meals for a whole month makes my life so much easier as a working mom. And today I'm sharing with you such amazing recipes, because just because they're freezer meals doesn't mean they should not be tasty. Okay, and that doesn't mean you have to keep having the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm so glad you are here. Your part is not fair. So the first thing I always do before I do any freezer meal cooking session is to research my recipes to avoid repeating the same old recipes. That's my other tip. I do not like repeating the same old recipes. And I'm happy to tell you that our website is now up and running. We have tons of recipes there that make you delicious freezer meals. So if you would like, remember to stop there and get fantastic recipes. I'll pin it down below. If you would like to join me in this no cooking daily life, it is a life of freedom and enjoyment. Let me share with you in this video a few tips that have made making freezer meals so much easier for me, as I show you what I did yesterday to prepare for today's freezer meal session. I am so excited that you are here. My name is Susie. On this channel we make motherhood magical, and if you would like to, please subscribe to this channel. We love new people. And to my OG, hi, it's a new month and we are doing something new. Of course, once I'm done making sure I have delicious recipes, I put down a grocery list. So I go shopping knowing exactly what I am going to buy. I just don't buy ingredients and try to make meals out of it, because it saves me money and it saves me time. So yeah, apart from that, what I did yesterday is I boiled all the dry cereals and put them in these handy freezer bags, which are linked down below if you're interested. And I also make sure I chop up all my ingredients. I have a food processor. Again, that makes life so much easier. And apart from that, I also have little helpers and a big helper who is our help. And my husband will sometimes chip in. Basically, I get as much help as I can when I'm preparing to do freezer meals, because after all, they are all going to be enjoying these meals. So, you know, it would be nice for them to chip in here and there. I must say, I especially like it when our kids chip in when it comes to the cooking, because one, it's fun to hang out with them. Two, they are homeschooled and this is sort of like, you could say, home economics lesson for them. And three, I think they also appreciate the meals more because they also helped in some way to make them, although sometimes they do bring about some drama. Like some of our kids never used to eat pork, and then all of a sudden now, anyway, I'll tell you that later. But first, let's get this going, because, you know, if I start ranting.
Oh my child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright. All your life you've tried to be a good man inside. Did everything that you thought you should. Didn't seem to do you any good. I know you've tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up, just hold on tight.
So there, all my ingredients are prep. My garlic and ginger paste is also blended and looking nice. I'm feeling very organized when I look at this fridge. Now let's go back to today.
I know you tried so hard.
The first thing we're going to make are pork ribs. You heard me. Let me show you what we need. So for this, I'm going to need salt and pepper. I won't put pepper because I'm cooking for kids. I have paprika. I have cumin. You can also add onion powder, garlic powder, all that. And then we have some brown sugar. That's what I'm going to use to rub the pork right here. I've cut the pork into bigger chunks. Actually, mine are ribs, but no bones. So it's just bigger chunks of pork. That's fine. And then once I've done this, I'm going to put it in the instant pot. Then once it's cooked, I'm going to rub it with some barbecue sauce, which you can easily find at the supermarket, just right next to the ketchup. And then I'm going to roast that in the oven. My mouth is watering as we speak. Let's go. So I never used to make pork for my family. I mean, I stayed for years, and this is because I had watched something on TV years ago about a guy who ate pork, and then they got sick, and then something happened to their brain, and then yeah. So that spooked me. That really spooked me. But over time, about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided, you know what? Let me just give it one more try. And the reception was 50-50. Okay, so 50% of our children decided that they do not like pork, so they never used to eat it. But miraculously, something changed. Like second half of last year, all of a sudden, they started really liking it and they started eating it. So I'm here for that. Brown sugar like that, without putting that that piece of bread. Hey, the next time you come, you can't even scoop anything out of it.
Just what out.
You can't. That's a trick now with brown kind of rock made for that.
They don't rocks.
Not a rock from there. But now there's another meat they've decided they don't like, which I'm making in this video. I don't know what I am going to do with it, but anyway, basically now they all love pork, and I love pork as well. My mother used to grow pork. Okay, she used to grow the pigs, I and my dad, and then those pigs would be turned into pork. So we used to have quite a good supply of it, but not lately. Lately they stopped. And anyway, so we love pork so much, so much. Yeah, and so that's what I'm making. And this recipe is so easy because once I have pressure cooked the pork, I'm just going to remove it and put it on an oven tray lined with foil. It already smells so good and tastes delicious. As you can see, it's very soft. And then just brush it with barbecue sauce and broil it. Although eventually I realized it's easier to just toss it with the barbecue sauce. Makes life go much easier. And there we go. I also got plenty of broth in the boiling of this pork, and this will come in handy, so I'm saving it for a later date. Wow.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arm. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
There we go, fast dish made. And once it's nice and cool down, I'm putting it in my handy dandy containers and putting it in the freezer. One down, so many more to go. Let's do this.
Gibson, I will do everything I can for you. Deep and abiding.
The next thing I'm making is njahe. These are black beans, some type of black beans. So as you saw, we had already boiled them. Everything was in the fridge. And this is what I'm going to use. For spices, I'm doing turmeric, and I have curry powder, paprika. I have stock cubes for stock because nowadays I don't know what's going on with me and stock. Then I have this bacon that I've already chopped up. I bought collar bacon because it's cheaper, tastes just as good. I'm going to put this at the very end to give njahe a really nice taste because our kids are not fans, so I'm just trying to see if I can encourage them to eat that. And then of course we have our garlic and ginger paste, the aforementioned njahe. We have onions and we have tomatoes and grated carrots, which you will see later. So first thing will be to fry the onions as I'm making the bacon. Another tip I found that has made my freezer meal life easier is buying bigger pots. I used to have the tiniest pot and oh my goodness, some dishes I would have to divide into two. But in the kitchen makeover video I made last year, I showed you the unboxing of these massive cooking pots that we bought from Kamukunji. They are so good. They are really good and they look amazing and they always come in handy. So check out that video. I've given you all the details there because a lot of people ask me where I bought them. I love them. So get as big pots as big as the size of your family, okay? If you would like to join me in this no cooking daily lifestyle.
But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need until my heart gives in.
And this black bean stew will be a hit. The added vegetables, the carrots and everything will add a boost of nutrients and love it. The bacon, of course, always a hit. Now I'm moving on to chicken. This time I want to roast my chicken in the oven completely, but the first thing I want to do is I want to fry it up a bit and infuse it with some spices. Infused, so that it's not infused, it's infused. So that then once I put it in the oven, it's gonna be nice and crispy, but still very, very tasty. So what I'm going to need for the chicken is this. I have my chicken here, mostly thighs and drumsticks, skinned, amazing, and cleaned. Then I have some turmeric, I have what's left of my ground cumin, I have salt, and I was gonna use whole cumin seeds, but I realized I better just use ground. Then I have the garlic and ginger paste that we already made last night. So let's get this going. I started making freezer meals right about when our twins were very little, about 1 year old. So that's about 7 years ago, really. And the main reason why I started making it was because of the huge, extremely huge turnover of house helps from my house. Coupled with the fact that my job entails a lot of travel, so I am away like 45% of the time. So my poor husband would sometimes be left, because he works from home, he'd be left home by our disappearing house helps with 3 children under 3 with no food. So I was like, that is not sustainable. So that's how I started making freezer meals, and I have never looked back. And I'm happy to report that now my house helps stay quite a bit.
You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and be on your own. But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can.
Basically, the gist of this delicious chicken recipe is just to cook it through in a pot, and then I put it in a baking tray, brush it with a bit of oil, and then roast it for about 30 minutes so it can be dry and crispy, because we want to have it with ugali, and I feel like ugali just works well with something dry and crispy, you know. And it's so easy, and yeah, it's a recipe that everybody should try, you know.
Liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
And now I'm making a tasty red kidney bean stew in coconut, and these are the ingredients. As I said, I like meals being chock full of vegetables because it's healthier and makes the meals go a long way by adding bulk. Hence the carrots and the courgettes. You can use almost any vegetables. And of course, the coconut cream takes the stew from meh to, oh my word, this is delicious. So those are the kind of things I like to put in my meals, just to give them just a little bit more oomph, because we want our families eating oomph, not just eating for survival.
I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep in the bed.
If you choose to join me in this no cooking daily life, I would like to just tell you one thing that I also do is to make sure I clean out our freezer as much as I can to avoid wastage of old freezer meals, and of course for hygiene purposes. So I make sure before I do any freezer meal cooking session, I also make sure I clean out the freezers completely, and this works very well for us. We have both a deep freezer and a large fridge freezer, and that's how I am able to make freezer meals for about 6 weeks and find space for them. I've done an entire video showing you exactly how I go about making these meals fit in these freezers, so if you're interested, check it out. And now I'm making a delicious lentil stew that I forgot to take the ingredients footage for, but they're basically the same as those of the kidney beans. And the process, the beginning is the same. The only thing that I do sometimes is I vary the spices. So you'll find sometimes where I put cumin and coriander in one, then maybe I'll put paprika and something else, paprika and garam masala in another one, just to tweak the taste a little bit. But generally, I will start most of my cereals, meals, my pulses, the beans, the dals and all that. I'll start with onion and then tomato, garlic and ginger, and then I put my veggies, and then I put whatever cereals I'm putting. One thing I decided to do for this lentil stew is to add the broth that I got after cooking the chicken, and this added so much flavor. I highly recommend.
So we took a few hours break because we went to have dinner with our neighbors, and now we are back. The next thing I'm making is goat wet fry. So when I was going, I left the goat boiling in the instant pot. Couldn't pressure cook because it's too full, so we just sauteed it so it's nice and soft. And together with this, here's what I'm going to use. So we have some tomatoes here, I have onions, garlic and ginger paste, and I have colored peppers. I'm keeping it very simple because we want to actually feel the taste of the meat. Now let's go to the fire.
As I've been watching this video, I am absolutely flabbergasted by my, shall we say, unique fashion sense. No wonder Vogue magazine has been calling me nonstop. Apparently, they were looking for a perfect example for women for how not to dress, and I fit the bill perfectly. Anyway, my stunning fashion sense aside, can we appreciate how yummy this goat stew actually looks? Okay? The meat looks better than I do, and I'm very okay with that. I am absolutely very okay with that.
The next dish I'm making is a Thai coconut chickpea curry. We actually had this last month for the first time ever. It was such a hit. So it is back due to public demand. Let me show you what we're going to be using. So we've got coconut milk, colored peppers, onions, this Thai curry paste that I bought at Carrefour, just there near Mega, up Mombasa Road, okay? Then I have some lime juice here, brown sugar, garlic ginger paste, soy sauce, salt, and of course, chickpeas. There's a lot more where this came from, so let's cook this.
By the way, the same kids who never used to eat pork now do not eat goat meat all of a sudden. They were enjoying it last year, but now all of a sudden they don't. You know what? I'm not even bothered anymore. I'm like, more meat for me, you know? I'm really trying to up my protein intake, and I'm like, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And look at that, after all my hard work, I am so happy with what I came up with. Once every 6 weeks, I do this, and then I do not step into that kitchen again. Well, you know I do if you're a subscriber, but you know, at least not for meals, okay? And as my family and I enjoy these meals, we are going to also enjoy the fact that this mommy is not tired every night. So anywho, thank you for hanging out. If you'd like to see how I organize these meals in a freezer, check out this video and I'll see you over there. Bye.